You know, usually on our teasers, we're pretty darn funny.
I think so.
But today, we're going to talk about something that's really seriously on the rise, and it can affect you. We're talking about scams. Hello everybody, my name is Barry Horvath and this is Moving Forward TV with your local market update.
And I am DeLynn Gaston. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes, today we're talking...
Thank you.
Thank you.
No,
thank
you.
I have to say, I noticed that like really quick right before when like the producer gave us the countdown to start the show, Barry goes like this.
Yeah.
Of course, I think I used to do that too before I got permanent ones.
There's nothing permanent about my vision. In fact, there's nothing permanent about this entire body. In fact, we're only here temporarily. We just have to accept the fact.
It's always changing.
Yes, and we're slowly deteriorating, some of us faster than others.
Yeah, hey, stop. Yeah, I know. But anyway, moving on.
All right, so this week we're going to talk about scams, and they're on the rise. But first of all, you know, while we're talking about scams and all the pressures of our industry, we got a newspaper article. So in case of them you want to get out of the industry, we have the job link line right here. It caught my eye.
So we're always trying to be up to date on like the latest things that are going on. So we've got newspapers so that we check on the internet and the research and stuff that we do for the shows.
And we have our advisors.
And so we have all this stuff here, and I'm like, well, should we clean this up? And he's like, no, it's okay. And I said, what are you looking for, a job? Because it's like right there on top.
Yeah. And you know what?
Finding any good jobs.
Well, the headline on the job link says, drinking affects valued employee.
Yeah,
really? Duh.
Yes, I remember that story.
I know. So let's talk about,
a lot of people.
You know what? Prices are on the rise. Mm-hmm. Real estate's on the rise. Interest rates are on the rise.
Little bit.
Yep.
They've actually backed down a little bit, which is nice. From November, they're off their highs that came in November, December.
We're still at accelerating an all-time high rate for this period. So obviously the scammers are going to be out. I mean, we talked about what the lenders do to deceive, how they got loans closed on one of our shows. Today we're going to talk about how the scammers are deceiving buyers on different ways. So
when people hear scam, they think, oh, what are the lenders doing now, right? Or what are the realtors doing now? Or what are the appraisers doing now? No, all that stuff is gone. But there's other people that are affecting a lot.
Yeah, and it's pretty serious.
And anytime the country or the economy is doing good, that's when these scammers, who are brilliant, I might add, come out.
They're getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So let's talk about the top 4 mortgage and real estate scams that are going on out there. Are you going to say
your numbers though?
No.
He usually likes numbers. Over.
And you're buying a home.
Over 10,000.
It's supposed to be the greatest experience of your life, okay? So take it from the professionals when you're going through the process. It's not a great experience typically. It's hard.
Right. It is.
Because the documentation, you're trying to line up movers, you're trying to figure out, am I closing, not closing. It's very stressful. So you can get overwhelmed with what's going on in the whole buying process and not think about that there's somebody out there that's trying to scam you along the way.
I know, to add insult to the already difficult process. So I think today we need to really kind of stress the importance of setting the proper expectations. So there are a lot of people, as all of our real estate partners out there watching know, there's a lot of people involved from the time somebody decides, I want to buy a house, until the time that they're actually sitting around a closing table getting keys in their hands. There's a whole bunch of people. So it's not abnormal that in that mix, and the buyers and the sellers get all confused with surveyors who are calling them and title companies who are calling them or something like that, it's not unusual that a scammer can get in there and they're just thinking it's normal because this isn't something they do every day.
Right.
So we, as the real estate and mortgage professionals, need to really educate our clients on who is real and who isn't, and what to watch out for.
Absolutely. You know, I love this stat, though.
I knew you'd get to your numbers.
In 2018, 9,645 victims reported real estate fraud of some kind. So, and you know what? That number is really way, way less than it really is, because most people, when they figure out they were scammed, they're too embarrassed to even report it in some way, you know. And the biggest one that's going on right now is, and we all know this, it's a huge problem, is the escrow wire fraud.
Right.
So what happens is these scammers get in to somebody's email, they know your trusted contact list, and they're changing wire instructions last minute, and they'll put one digit off on a phone number. They'll make the website look legitimate. They'll even put the signature of the person you've been dealing with. They'll cut and paste it so it looks like it's coming from them, and they'll send wire instructions which are going somewhere off to like Nigeria.
Right.
And you, as the buyer, you know, you've saved all your money, your hard-earned money. You get caught up in the moment. You're overwhelmed. You're
You're
sending
thinking,
money
this is
to the wrong place.
Right.
So now you're seeing more and more on instructions from lenders, from title companies, escrow holding companies, you know, to verify. So the big thing we like to tell people is pick up the phone, call them, and I would take one step further. Don't look at the signature line. Google the company, pull up the phone number, verify, make sure it's the same. Write it down in a safe place that it's in front of you. You know who you're dealing with, that person, and call them to verify.
You know what I like to do? I tell my clients, and I know you as the real estate partners out there, I know that a lot of your corporates have told you as well, don't send wiring instructions anymore. Just don't do that. Don't get involved in it because you don't want the liability for it, because what ends up happening is everybody in the chain ends up getting sued. So don't have the liability for it. Have the client call. But what I do is because I'm dealing with the title company, I know the number that I dial to get a hold of the title company. I give that phone number to my client, to the borrower, and I say, use only this phone number. No matter what it says on an email that comes to you, use only this phone number and speak, to get the wiring instructions. And when they send those wiring instructions to you, I want you to pick up the phone and call the same number I gave you and call them again to verify them verbally over the phone so that they weren't intercepted. So it's kind of like a double protection.
And what's funny is it's not coming across now just emails. They're texting you now because they have your information somewhere. They got in the system. So,
And tell people up front that this is what's going on and this is why we're really hammering this home for them, because we want to protect them.
And then once you do wire the money for your closing, call the title company, verify right then and there you got it, because you can still stop a wire if you do it immediately. If you sit back and wait and say, I'm just going to closing, no, I would verify it, because it'll hit, the Federal Reserve moves pretty quickly, those wires move a lot faster than they used to. You remember it used to be, I had to send it yesterday to get it tomorrow, or early in the morning, you'd get it later that day.
Right.
And they'd say, oh, the Federal Reserve is busy today. You don't really hear that anymore. It's usually,
They usually come pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's very quick now. It's the way of doing business. So that's the number one on my list.
And again, because buyers are so naive with this whole process, it's easy for them to get confused. So it's up to us to protect them on this.
Yeah, so we've got more scams coming up, but we're going to take a short break. But we'll be back right after this. You don't want to miss it, so hang in there with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're talking about scams, everybody's favorite subject.
Yay!
You know, there's 2 things you don't want to talk about in life. Scams.
And politics.
Well, there's like 5 things you don't want to talk about. Politics, taxes. Nobody wants to talk about taxes.
I don't know about taxes.
Nobody wants to talk
either.
about divorce.
Yeah, no, nobody wants to talk about divorce either.
Yeah.
You're right.
So these things
Good
can,
top 5
you know what, and these things can happen to you. They can happen to me, but it can happen to anybody. So,
Right.
and it's happening a lot. So the next thing we want to talk about is loan flipping.
The next 3 actually all have to do with after they buy the house.
Yeah, so loan.
This involves you guys too because of our cash buyers
Sure.
out there.
So what happens is when you close on a property, you know, you're all done, and all of a sudden you're going to start getting mailers. You get mailers galore. They look like they are from your lender. And if you read the fine print, I can't tell you how many closings I go. They go, I got mail from you today saying I can lower my rate with you already. I just closed like 2 weeks ago. Well, remember, it is public record when you close. It doesn't mean that the lender sold your information. It's public record. These companies buy mailing lists. So what happens is, and particularly to our elderly customers, seniors, you know, they'll be convinced that it's a good idea to refinance again and get more cash out. Or we can lower your rate by blah, blah, blah. Well, really, you know, what happens is that lender's getting paid again to refinance your home at a very, you know, quick, after a quick time, which may not make sense. So my advice to you would be have a trusted advisor that you work with to have them look at those things to make sure that it makes sense. So, you know,
Absolutely.
and it doesn't always make sense to refinance. Sometimes it does. I know on your own personal residence that you got notification to refinance and it made sense for you to do it.
Yeah, sometimes it does.
Yeah, sometimes it does because rates may drop, but just be weary of somebody that immediately comes to you and says, "Oh, it's time to refinance," blah blah blah.
And right with that, even if they didn't take a mortgage out, a lot of, as I said, a lot of you realtors out there do deal with people who have cash and they're cash buyers. Those people are your clients, and I know that you care about them. Warn them of some of the scams because there are people out there who look for people who bought a house and have no mortgage. They buy lists, okay? So they look for, they bought a house and they have no mortgage on it. They're going to target that person and they're going to say to them, oh, well, you know, you can buy a car, you know, take some cash out. You have all this equity in your property, take some cash out. You could buy a car, you could do this, you could do that.
You can buy solar panels.
They're really good. They should be selling timeshares.
Yeah.
They're really good at convincing them that it's a good idea.
And it's not necessarily a
then
good
once
idea.
they do, then they're going to, like you said, they're going to start refinancing them and refinancing them and
Next thing you know, it's 2005
Right.
all over again.
I was just going to say, now this is what happened in 2005, and with all of those easy, you know, you just have to, you know, fog a mirror and you can get a loan.
Right.
But it's going to start doing that again. Not that, you know, even though they qualify for it or something, but it's not good to do when the cash buyers come down and next thing you know, they're bogged with debt and, you know, it's
not good.
It's not good.
Not
it's
good
not
at all.
good.
All right, so that's number
That's
2,
loan
loan
flipping.
flipping. Next one we're going to talk about is foreclosure relief. So foreclosure relief is
Fewer foreclosures out there today, but there are still.
they're out there. So,
Right.
So what happens is the scammer will reach out to you again. They find you. They know public record that you're in the process. There's pre-foreclosure. There's foreclosure. People
And they
get
buy
behind
these
in their payments.
lists, right?
Yep.
There's these companies that go to all of these, you know, county records, and or, you know, it's online, and they sell these lists to these scammers.
Yeah, so they'll find it and they'll come in with offers to you to say, hey, we'll give you a lump sum amount of money. We're going to get you caught up on your payments. So we're a direct lender. So when we have, it's actually under Chapter 494. That's, you cannot do a foreclosure rescue if you're a bona fide real lender. You are not allowed to. So you can't bail somebody out that's behind. Right. You're just not allowed to do it. So these companies will come in and say, you know what, we're going to give you a lump sum, we're going to get you caught up, and they're going to make you add them to the deed. So now they're an owner of your property. So you've worked all these years to build equity in this property, made your payments on time, you fell upon some hard times. Next thing you know, you're behind, and this looks appealing to get you out, and you feel like that's your only answer.
Right.
So foreclosure relief is not as big a problem as it was before, because we're in a rising market.
Right.
People can typically sell them, but a lot of people don't want to necessarily move either. So,
and they don't know what to do. And honestly, they're going to turn to you, again, our real estate partners, because they trust you. So whether it's a house that you sold them, or they just don't know what to do. Should I sell my house, or it's in foreclosure or something like that? Guide them correctly. Some of the things that they say to do to protect them, let people know, so that if somebody is calling them and the first thing that they're saying is, don't talk to your lender. Stop talking to your lender, and I can help you through this. Red flag. Yeah, red flag should go up.
The first thing you should do.
The first thing you should do is talk to your lender. Yeah. So don't ever tell the clients, don't ever not talk to the lender. They have to do that. That's a big red flag of that's a scam. Yeah. The other thing that they say is set the scammers. So they're going to say to the client, to the person who's in foreclosure, send money to me, and I can, there's a fee involved or whatever it is, and send it to me, and we'll take care of getting all of this done, and getting you caught up again and everything else. Again, scam. Don't send money to anybody.
Right. Again, actually, the only person you can send money to legally in a foreclosure rescue is an attorney. An attorney is the only one that can collect money up front legally. So remember that. The first thing you should do if you get behind is call your lender. Try to get a workout plan. Right. A lot of them will do what they call a forbearance agreement, meaning they'll take what you owe and you're behind and put it on the back of the loan and settle up with you later when you sell it, or you can get caught up. Or work on a modification. And a modification process can be a little it can be a little daunting for people, because you got to get financial documents together, prove you have a hardship, because you can't just call your lender and say, you know what, I'm behind.
Right.
And I'm hurting. No, they want to know that you really are. And
they're willing to work with you.
They are. They are servicers. They don't
want the house.
They don't want it. Remember, the banks are not in the real estate business.
Right.
They're in the business of lending money. They make money by lending money. It costs them money to foreclose. It costs them money to try to resell your property for you. So call your lender if you get behind, work on a modification, get a workout plan.
Right.
Okay? We've got one more big one that's really going on right now, and we'll share that with you in just a second. And then we're going to talk about the biggest regrets that first-time home buyers never thought about.
Right.
Maybe when they bought their first house. So we'll be back right after this.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Tricia up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
All right, we're back talking about the scams.
The scams
that are happening.
The last scam, our fourth scam. And these are the biggies that are happening right now.
This is
still, even though everybody says, "Oh, it was like back. Oh, that was all back in the mid 2000s." No, it's now.
Here.
We're talking about now.
And the market's hot. So this is a big one, and it's happening a lot.
Right.
Because, as we know, it's a seller's market, which makes it A rental market is also hot, so people are actually fighting over rental properties now.
And we've had a lot of investors come in, as all of you know, we've had a lot of investors come in, buy a lot of properties, and now they're renting them out. And
I hate to say it, one of the biggest complaints that are coming in are off of like Craigslist ads. So here's what happens. This is the rental scam. You've been trying to find a house, you can't get it, and the ad says, we'll let you see the house first. We're going to give you dibs, but we need a deposit to know that you are serious and you have the wherewithal before we're even going to show you the property. You send them $1,000 deposit so you can go view the house that doesn't even exist. Boom, your money's gone. And they'll have you do it via Western Union, via PayPal, some kind of online payee service. And you're never going to see that money, and you're never going to see that house, unfortunately. So that's a big thing. So
another one that they do is they do the same thing to several people. So they say yes, and they collect first month, last month, and security, and different like move-in dates by like off like a day or two, and 2 separate people sent in, first
or
month's
three,
like,
or
3,
four.
right, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever it might be, for their first, last, and security deposit to this person, and everybody thinks that they're getting this house, and none of them are.
Yeah. So the way to avoid this is obviously one. I would maybe work through a real estate professional if you're looking for a rental. It's always a good idea. They can kind of weed through that. The scam process, and don't do anything via email or phone.
Meet the person
there. Meet the person there. They're never going to show up if it's a scam. I promise you, they won't. So just avoid that. That's really, really on the rise. And if any of these things happen to you,
report them.
Yeah, you got to report it. The FTC is a great place, the Federal Trade Commission. You can go online, and they're out there, and they're going to try to help you. But once you do these things, you're probably not going to get your money back. Just being straightforward about that. So. And
again, we tell this to you, the real estate partners, because you guys usually hit the people before we do. They call you about a house or a rental or something like that.
And I have clients that'll reach out to me just to ask me, hey, you think this is okay? You just don't even know. Work with somebody like, and trust. It's a good idea. So, all right, let's talk about the biggest, we'll get off topic here. Enough about scams and negative things.
Scams are done.
The biggest regret of first-time home buyers. So you know what? And we see it all the time. People think, oh, what do I need to buy a house? And we think it's great. You have 3% down or 3.5% down, or you got down payment assistance, and you got closing costs, or you got closing costs paid by sellers. But surveys nationally show that the biggest regrets that people have of buying a house is they didn't anticipate the cost of home ownership. And I know the home ownership class educates you on this, but when you buy a house, home ownership, it's not just your mortgage payment. There are other things involved. And when you move in, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to change the whole house, and it takes money, so people go in debt.
And I thought the article was interesting because it did, the survey was from all over the country and all different age brackets, baby boomers, Gen X's, millennials, so it's not just one targeted area. All of them had the exact same thing. They didn't save enough money prior to. They had enough money for their down payment. Perhaps they had enough money for closing costs and things like that, but their biggest regret was afterward they hadn't anticipated all of the costs that there are. Sometimes I tell my clients a lot of times, don't go, and I know my real estate partners help and say, don't charge anything prior to closing. So then right after closing, what do? They go to Home Depot, and you have to buy a trash can for outside. You have to buy a trash can for, your 3-bedroom house that you just bought. So trash cans for all the bedrooms, all the bathrooms, the kitchen, that kind of thing. Window treatments, all that. Next thing you know, there's a lot of debt that's building up. In addition to, God forbid, well, you know what? I don't like this stove. Let's get a new stove.
So it's funny you say that, because 48% in this survey, of the 1,000 people surveyed, said they did not save enough money. And the number one, 16% of them went out. The first thing they did is, guess what?
Buy appliances.
They bought new appliances. So that's the number one added expense. So people want their own brand new appliances. So that's number one. Number two was the roof, 13%. Furnace and air conditioner, like we have furnaces here in Florida, 11%. And landscaping held up the rear at 10%. And flooring, which surprised me because I know was 9%. So people want to come in and put brand new flooring in,
right?
Make it your own.
And you know what? And I was just going to say, the landscaping didn't surprise me, and the flooring didn't surprise me. What surprised me was the roof and the AC, because home inspections are done, right? So when home inspections are done, okay, it's good, it's good, it's good. So that kind of surprised me. But I do see, we all want to do that when you get a new house. Oh, I want to, put trees in, I want to put a garden in, I want to do this. So the landscaping, I can see. Flooring, you want new flooring, I want to get rid of these carpets and put tile or whatever.
People want to make their home their own, and I get that.
Right.
So just be, when you're buying a house, be prepared, save as much money as you can. Even if you got to get a gift, you got to have reserves. You're not calling your landlord when the ball cock on the on the toilet breaks. It's on you. So it might be $10, but it's on you. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about upcoming events we have. We got a cool couple of things coming up. Of course, we got our Lunch and Learn.
Day.
Lunch and Learn's coming up.
Yeah, before Valentine's Day. Lunch and Learn is February 12th.
Yep. And we have County Commissioner Mike Wells going to speak about the real estate markets and what's going on right now. So
what's
that's going to
on
be
in the
good.
counties. That's going to be really good. So don't forget to RSVP to me.
It's going to be a big crowd. Carrabba's, Port Richey, 11:30, February 12th. That's a Tuesday as usual. And then we have, of course, the hockey trip.
Valentine's Day, the hockey game.
Yep, go on West Pasco Business Association. We have the site up right there, WPBA.biz. Book your seats. There's not many left. There's just a few, so it's going to be fun. We're actually meeting up at Flamestone this time. We're going to have appetizers there, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a fun night.
It always is. It's fun.
It's always a good time. And then we have the Luck of the Irish Cornhole Tournament coming up March 16th.
March 16th.
At Fiddler's Green.
You like cornhole? If not, just come watch. Yeah. It's fun.
So come on, get online, check out what's going on, WPBA.biz, for upcoming events of our local charities. So hope you enjoyed our show. I did. It was good.
Share it.
Yeah, like it. Get us out there.
Click it. Whatever.
Yeah. However you got here, forward it. We're all over social media, so feel free to like it, share it, love it. Actually, we prefer you love it. So,
thank you all for watching. We are Today and Every Day.
Moving forward.
We'll see everybody next week.
Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.